Hello my fellow admins and welcome back to another episode of Jira Guides. Void.admin here, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to migrate from Jira H2 database to MySQL. So let's start. So before going into creating our separate database for our Jira, we need first of all in our Jira to create and to generate an XML backup. So we are going to do this. So in the backup systems, you have backup Jira data. So now let's create backup H2 DB, and we just click on backup button, and now Jira will generate a file into the export path in Jira home directory where you have this backup. Now I want to have the next step also done right now, because we are going to use the import path from Jira home directory in order to fetch this file when we are going to import this backup file. So we are going to do this right now. So we are going into the Atlassian Jira home directory, and you go into application data, and here you go into Jira, and here you have basically the export that Jira said that it exported that backup zip file. And we go into export, and we have this backup H2DB. You just right click on it and you just click copy, you go back, and now we'll open the import folder here, because we are going to use this. Jira basically is using this import folder in order to fetch this file when you are importing a backup. So now we are going to paste this, we continue, and now we have the backup in our import, so everything is prepared and set up before creating our database. So let's start creating our separate database now. So in order to create our separate database, we need the MySQL installer. So I will just post this link down below into the description of this video where you can download this installer. So I'm going to go with the version 8, and I suggest you go the same, as you have also 5.7, but if you want to upgrade Jira in the future, maybe that version will not be supported, right? So you need to again upgrade the DB version and so on, and that's busy work, right? So let's go directly with our with the latest version, which is 8.1 and Microsoft Windows, and I'm going to do it with the second installer, right? So the second installer, which is MySQL installer community, and I'm downloading this right now. No thanks, just start my download. I don't want to log in or sign up. As soon as you start the installation, you'll be prompted with two separate confirmation, like from the administrator point of view from Windows, right? So I'll skip those and go directly into the setup of that window. So basically you just need to open the installer and follow the steps, and just click yes as soon as Windows asks you if you want to continue with the administrator permissions. So basically this is the window that appears after you open the MySQL installer and you got through the multiple steps of confirmation from Windows admin, user admin point of view, of like confirmation that you want to go and continue with the steps. And now we have this window, which is like the first window that appears. And what I want you to select is the custom one, because we want to install MySQL server and MySQL workbench in order to have a tool in order to visualize the tables and so on, right? And it's like easier to use rather than having simply only the server client, right? So we are going to choose custom, hit next. Now you have the available products. You collapse this one, the second one, and you have MySQL server. You need also to collapse this one, and you have this MySQL server version. And now you need to move into this a section here, which is called products to be installed, and you just click, after you selected your product, you need to click on this green arrow and it will be moved. And now we go into applications, select MySQL workbench, collapse this the same as we did for server, and we select this version of MySQL workbench and we click again the green arrow, and now it will be moved into the other section. You don't need to check this box here, you just click next, and now we have the ready to install both products in the installation window, and we just click execute now. Now both products got installed and we need to click next again. And we have the product configuration and it's ready to be configured, which is the MySQL server. We hit next. And now this is the most important part, which we are going to use this port number when we are connecting Jira to our separate database. So bear in mind that you need to save this port somewhere, or you need to keep aware of it, 3306. But if you change this port number, just save it somewhere because you need that port number afterwards, right? So now we just keep it like the default ones, click next. We use the recommended method, authentication method, click next. In this section, we need to set up the root password for our root account user. And I'm just going to add void admin as a password, void admin. And now don't create any user right now. And be aware that you can also click next even if the password strength is weak, right? So we added the password, we repeated the password, and now we are going with the next button. And now in this Windows service window, just keep it as it is and make sure you have this start the MySQL server as system startup checked, because you need to have the server, the MySQL server starting when you open your computer or your Windows machine, right? So if you restart your Windows machine, whenever the Windows come back online again, the server should start immediately. You don't need to manually go there and start up the MySQL server, right? So you go and click next. We just keep this full access, click next, and now we have the apply configuration window and we just execute this step. And now the configuration for MySQL server was successful and we need to click finish and configuration complete, click next. And now you just keep this checkbox to start MySQL workbench after this setup has been finished, and we click finished again. And now we basically wait for the workbench to appear, and we have it here. And the next step is to click this one, local instance. And now we wait a bit. So now we have a clean installation here, and we're going with the next steps of creating the database, creating the users, and granting the user the necessary privileges. So now I will basically paste all the lines that we are going to use in order to create the database and the user, and we are going to execute each line one by one so it's easier for you to understand. So I'm pasting everything here. Basically, this is from my documentation that I had when I created the guide on how you can install Jira on Linux side, and on that video I also created a separate database. I didn't use the H2 database, right? So you can also find this in my GitHub repository. And let's say that we want to create the database, right? And we create the user and we grant all the privileges, right? So we have these steps here, but we also need to add a step to use the database, right? That we created, and then create the user, right? So the moment, let me choose void admin, let's say like this, and let's copy this one, and I'm going to prepare everything so we can start with each line to execute. And Jira user, let's put void admin, and at the local host, this is correct. And let me put, I'll put the same password as the root, which is like more easier for you to understand. So basically this is let me put void admin and 100, right? Because this is the different password than the root, right? The root password is different than this one. Like you can use the same password, but for the sake of this example, not to be lost in this create user, void.admin, create user, and now I need to copy the database and just paste it here, and we grant all privileges on this database for the user that we create. And now we have everything set up, and now we are basically going each row by each row and we'll execute it, right? So in MySQL you just select everything as the line that you want to execute, and you just click on this execute icon as a thunder, right? And we are clicking it, and now we created this Jira DB void admin database, and now we are going to use this database as a next step, and you click again on this icon. Right, and now we have the second action output here, and we are going to create the user now using the same method. And now we also have the action output with green, and the latest step that we want to do is to grant all privileges and the flash privileges, and we just select both lines here and we just execute. And now you see we have everything set up here, and we basically created everything that we needed in order to have a separate database. And now we have two more important steps before going and starting Jira. We need to go and basically, let me go into this one, right? So what we need to do is, first of all, we need to stop Jira, right? So we are going to stop Jira in order to be safe. Not here in the command prompt, and we are stopping Jira. Stop Jira. Right, and now if we are checking, we'll have Jira stopped. Yeah, it stopped. And now what we need to do actually is to, first of all, we need to delete. So in the Atlassian home directory, we need to delete the dbconfig.xml. So this is found in the, so you go into Atlassian home directory, application data, Jira, and you have this XML file dbconfig, and we need to delete this. So right click on it and not rename, sorry, it's delete, and we deleted it because doing this, it will reset the DB, right? And we will be, when we start Jira, we'll be prompted again with the setup page where you are prompted when you have like a clear installation, right? And then you can choose to connect your own DB instead of using the H2 one, right? And after we deleted this XML DB config, we also need the MySQL connector inside the Jira home directory in order for us to be able to connect to this to the MySQL DB that we previously created. And we are going to do this by using this link. I'll also post the MySQL connector link in the description down below. And you basically need to select the, so from the drop down, you'll have it like this as the default, select operating system, and you need to select the operating system as platform independent, because here you have the zip file, which is compatible with the Windows environment, and we just click download, and no thanks, just start my download. And after it has been downloaded, we wait a bit, on. It's done, and now we open this zip file here, and you need to open my this folder, and inside this folder you have this jar file, MySQL connector, and we need to copy this jar file into our Atlassian home directory, specifically in the lib folder inside it. So you are in the home directory, you go into Jira, and here where you have the logs, where you have the temp files, you also have the lib folder, and you just basically open this lib folder, and you basically move this connector.jar into this. You also need to give like administrator permissions to continue, and you have MySQL connector here in this folder. And now it's safe to start Jira in order to have all the steps necessary to start Jira and to be prompted with the new setup in order to connect to a separate database. And now we are going to start Jira. So now this site cannot be reached, so we need to start Jira, and we need to wait a bit for Jira to start. And now we got our Jira started, and it's ready to go. And we have, as I said, if you delete this db XML config, you are prompted with this page here, the setup page. And now you need to click I'll set up for myself, click next. And now in this part, you have the built-in, which is the H2 database, but we don't want that. We want my own database. And here, database type, you select the one that you installed, MySQL 8.0 in our case. Host name, it's localhost. Port is 3306. This is the one that we selected when we installed our MySQL installer. The database is actually Jira _db _void admin, and the username was Jira user and void admin. By the way, you need to remember what you added previously when you created the database with the name and also the username, and also, by the way, also the password. So I added void admin and 100 as I remember, because we wanted to have a different password rather than the root one, so you don't get confused that it's not that password. It's actually like you can set up this different password. Now we are just testing the connection, fingers crossed. And as you can see, the database connected connection test was successful. And what we need to do is to click next in order to set up this database. And now in the same time, if we look into our MySQL workbench, if you type here show tables and you only execute this line, you'll see here that we have some results, right? This DB is no longer empty. Jira is like building this database setup, and you can actually see it in the real time. But for this step, you actually like need to wait for like 5-10 minutes for this to be completed. So you need to wait here. Okay, now basically the DB was set up, and we have this next step of set up application properties, but we just leave it as the default ones. And now we click next. And now we need the license key. I have somewhere a license key already. All right, so I don't need to set up a new one. But if you don't know how to set up, I actually also have like a video how to set up like a new licenses, but it's pretty easy. You just go into the licenses and you just click here, new trial license, and then you just select your product and basically get it. But let me get my license here and paste it here. And now the license has been set up, and you just basically need to set up your admin account here. And let me choose. You can choose either what you want. Just put in my email here, username, and just also confirm the password. Let me add a password here because I don't know exactly what is this password that was set up here. You click next, and now please wait a bit. It was actually instant. I will choose later to set up the email notifications, and now pressing finish and waiting for Jira to start up like as a new clean setup. After we connected it to the new database that we previously created. And now basically we are in our default welcome to Jira panel, and we choose English or your language here and just click next. Next again. You can select import issues and then skip in order to skip that entire selection screen in order to get to the dashboard. And now we are going to because here you have like a clean installation on your separate database, and what we need to do in the next step is to import that backup file that we generated previously, that is it was in the export, and we moved it in the beginning of this video into the import folder. So now we are going to the backup systems, and here on the left side we go into restore system, and now here we have this page, and you just need to type your name here, not your name, your file name here. So we had backup h2db.zip. You also need to add the extension, and this file needs to be in this file path here, which is the import file path. And now we just basically, I will just also choose disable outgoing emails because we don't need that at the moment. and I'm clicking restore button. And now the thing that we need to do is to wait. We need to be patient. And now basically the import has been successful and you have been logged out, so you need to log in again, of course. And if we go and log in again, welcome to Jira, and as you can see, we have it, the same Jira that we had previously. And we also can check, like if we can check on the MySQL workbench and show tables. Let me delete these previous ones and make it a bit bigger, show tables. And if we run it, you see that now we have like the full tables after our import. And if we also check plan your upgrade, because this is where in the pre-upgrade checks it was mentioned that the H2 database is not compatible if you want to upgrade to a latest version. And if we check here, you see all pre-upgrade checks have passed, and a nice message, right? So actually this is how has been done. That's basically all for this video. I hope this video was helpful for you and you were successful into migrating from Jira H2 database to MySQL. And as I said, you can also find, I will post in the description down below my GitHub repository, because I have interesting stuff there. And we also have a small community on our Discord, so join our Discord if you want, I don't know, if you want to ask questions, or I can also like help you with that if our comment section from YouTube is not enough. But we also have a community there and that can respond to your questions if you have some. And I don't know, if you like this video, just like it. Subscribe will also help. And yeah, that's it for today. Until next time, peace.